Hello everybody. In today's video, we're going to be putting the finishing touches on my Raptor rebuild. It's at a pretty good point right now. The quad's ready to rip. I just need to get some cosmetic things done. It's going to get a new bumper and grab bar. I got to finish one of my Nerf bars, get my light bar installed, get my Restoquad headlights installed with my street legal kit, get my turn signals back on, you know, the super important stuff like my horn. I got to get everything ready to go, and hopefully this is looking pretty awesome by the time it's done. I'm praying I get my graphics kit in time. It's supposed to show up the day before we leave. So hopefully Dirt Fiend, the graphics company, comes in clutch and everything looks great. And without further ado, it's time to start finishing this thing up. I'm gonna get the plastic off of here next, I think, before I mess with that. Here's a bunch of the new plastic. I've got matching maroon fenders. These are the original fender. This is the original fender combination for this quad. It's a 2019 special edition. Came with the bright red rears. It looked really awesome. I've always loved the look of this machine, but with the gold paint, and now this powder coat is a little bit darker red, I kind of thought that doing all of it maroon would just look sweet. So I'm very excited to get those on. I don't have the graphics kit yet, like I said. So then one of the last pieces of the puzzle, once the graphics are installed and a lot of the cosmetics are done, will be the seat cover. I've got a couple ideas from it. One of them is pretty wild, but I want to see how it all looks before we settle on that, because I want it to flow as nicely as it can. All right, I got the rear plastic off. I just remembered that this needs its fan replaced, so I'm trying to do everything without having to take the plastic on and off 6 times because I'm doing things in the wrong order. I also didn't have the spacer clamp for these Hermosi bars. You can see they're actually sticking out here a bit. There's a spacer that goes in here when you install it that pushes them out, so I got to loosen that up and get that retightened. Actually, I got to remove this whole thing in order to put my light bar bracket on here, so hopefully I'm not doing stuff and then having to retake things apart, but I'm kind of a noob and that's what happens, and we'll start with the radiator. Got a brand new fan. Now it was time to test my light bar. I was pretty sure it worked, but the mounting bracket and switch were smashed in the crash and I needed a new switch, so I went to my local hardware store and grabbed this weatherproof switch, and thankfully it worked, and so did my light bar. All right, this should work without the key on. Yep, all right. Next up, I had to remove my SBC clamps so I can install my new light bar bracket on top of the steering stem. If you haven't seen the SBC clamps, they're an excellent anti-vibe product from Hermosi. They provide subtle damping in all directions, as well as remove extra vibration through the handlebars. Just note that they only work with 1/1/8 inch fat bars if you're thinking about getting a set. After installing my light bar, I had to find a spot for the power switch. I didn't want to mount the switch on the plastic because it's just another thing to uninstall when I'm removing the plastic. So to mount the switch, I decided to create a metal tab out of an old license plate. I pieced together some hardware, painted that black, and then I used some wire to secure the switch, which actually worked out pretty well. Then after that, I put some heat shrink over the connectors, grabbed a torch, and I shrank it all together to help secure everything. That's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with all that. Okay, so I've got most of the front end squared away here. I got my Hermosi clamps tightened down. Their spacer went in there and helped spread those out better. I've got my new indicator switch on here from Restoquad. The light bars reinstalled. Thankfully, it survived the crash. I did my own little jerry-rigged tab switch here. I'm pretty happy with how that came out. I got my little toggle switch here. That all got crushed. Here's my old one. Check this thing out. Here's the old light bar mount and the old switch in here. Things got mangled pretty good. So this is all good to go. Got a brand new radiator fan in here. The wiring's all squared away. So now I can move on to the headlights. And speaking of headlights, how sick are these new boxes from Restoquad? I can appreciate when a company puts a lot into their marketing and like how they present their product, just like Hermosi does. I got a bunch of his boxes, but the packaging on their new V2 headlights is awesome. Very impressed with how they continuously set the bar higher for themselves. I can take one of these out here. These are the V2 headlights. They still sell the version 1 headlights, which have the LED, the daytime running light on the outside of the perimeter here instead of going all the way through. These are also sequential, the way the turn signals work, so they move in a pattern, which is really cool. And then they also have a special startup sequence when you turn on the key and they like pulsate. It's pretty sweet. The next day, I decided to install these carbon bezel covers that I got from a company called Ucarbonex. They're carbon fiber skins that adhere with 3M tape over your OEM headlight bezels. The carbon's pretty flexible, so you can just pull them wide and slide them over the existing bezels. The fitment was solid on one side, but the other side needed a little more trimming in order to seat properly. Overall, the finish work was pretty good, but there was a couple blemishes, so I decided to message them about it. And after talking with them, they offered a free replacement set, which was very generous, so I'm looking forward to receiving those. Finally, it was time to start opening and installing the new plastic. This was filmed the night before leaving for Oklahoma, and my buddy Jason had just arrived to load his Warrior into the trailer. Thankfully, he was here to help film and install the plastics as it was crunch time and we had to get up early to hit the road. Side note, if you buy new OEM plastics, I recommend buying the adhesive pads and heat-resistant stickers. I was able to glue my old pads and use some aluminum tape to get by, but having the proper OEM extras would have made it easier and faster, so it's really up to you if you want to spend the money on the smaller items. I also didn't realize that the hood didn't come with the Yamaha emblem, and I just should have looked at the parts diagram a lot more closely, but now I know for next time. This whole process of opening new plastic and installing it was super satisfying. It's amazing how shiny it is when it's brand new, and I had all the pieces I needed except the maroon hood, which won't be shipping until after our trip. But nonetheless, it was super fun to see the machine starting to come together. I still needed the graphics, the front bumper, the rear grab bar, and I had to finish that last Nerf bar, but it got us to a good stopping point, and I had no other choice but to work on the graphics once we got to Oklahoma. All right, we are here, man. It was a long day. Some of us have not slept very much, and we are tired and ready to unload and get ready for some epic riding. So cannot wait to see some of you guys, and we're happy to be here. I'm definitely glad I grabbed some floodlights because I had a feeling we would be installing stickers in the dark. My goal was to get the front portion covered up since the red hood did not match the rest of the plastic, and thankfully Ian with the Square One Speed channel was there to save the day as he's installed several Dirt Fiend graphics kits on his own machines. The next morning, we went to the park, stopped at this new office building to get our 3-day wristbands. They have a kiosk in here where you can pay with a credit card, and this building also has some nice park merch in it as well. Then after that, we stopped at Little Sahara Sand Sports near the South Campground entrance to see if they had new shirts, and some of the guys needed to grab Dune flags. Then we finally went to the Southgate parking area, and one of the first group rides of the trip was quickly organized and everybody rolled out, but unfortunately I still had to finish a couple things, so I wasn't able to make it out for the first ride. Okay, we've got the Raptor ready for its official first Dune ride. I'm super excited. It looks so cool. We got more work to do with the graphics. Shout out to Ian with the Square One Speed channel for getting my graphics on again. Thank you so much for helping. We'll get the rest done on the trip. This first ride is going to be more short and more of a shakedown. Again, just baby step it since all the hardware is new. And we're just going to see if everything is nice and tight, come back, check everything. And if we're all good, then maybe a little more downtime because it's so hot, and we'll get ready for tonight's night ride. Look at these brand new goggles. These are cool, man. I like them. How do I ride it without scratching it? You don't. I don't? I go slow? I'm good at kicking my fenders. All right. All right, dude. This is a big moment. All right, you guys are watching me? Here we go. We're good? Whoa! Whoa! Wow, dude, I'm on my four-wheeler. The Raptor, dude, I'm on my Raptor with riding gear, with a helmet on. I got big pegs. Ooh. My shifter's high because the peg's low. Gonna have to move that. Wow, very crisp on the throttle. We're gonna go this way. Dude, I'm riding four-wheeler. I've been here all day. Wow, it feels so nice. Stabilizer, SBC. It's so choppy out here. The suspension's doing its thing. Man, it feels like really tight, dude. It feels really good. It sounds really nice. I'm standing abnormally wide because I don't want to scratch the graphics kit. Mainly because I still got to take photos because it's not finished. So the plan here is just easy does it. Almost every piece of hardware on this thing has been changed. Oh my gosh, it felt so nice. Oh, the power was so clean. Wow, dude, it feels so nice. And I know I haven't been on this in forever, but unbelievable. Oh, so fun. Oh, dude, I miss this thing. I know that I mean, we talked about the Vortex and the Power Commander. Power is going to be the same, but the delivery is supposed to be a little bit different. And I'm very impressed with how absolutely smooth it's running. Like, it is, man, the motor just feels, the best word I can say is it feels so clean. It just feels so crisp. Man, it's so much faster than a Raptor 350. My last ride was on a Raptor 350, and I have a full video coming from it, but I didn't have time to finish it. The new pegs are absolutely phenomenal. Loving them. Oh my gosh, dude. The power. And then the pipe is fairly quiet at low RPM. But when you get on it, it's pretty loud. Very short little rip, but they said just come back. We're going to check all the moving component hardware, like the shocks, axle nut, maybe the tires. Wow. It's running
so good. Okay. I did pretty good. I mean, that was only like 6 minutes, but you know, when you're moving, it's like this. I have been, yeah.
So after that first little ride, I double checked everything. Everything looked good, and we organized an afternoon group ride. I've decided to stop this video here, but I have a lot more content from this trip that I'm excited to share. And as always, I just want to thank everyone for supporting us with parts and merch purchases on PeteHager.com. And thank you for watching. You guys ride safe, and we'll catch you on the next one.